I just don't know. I'm just so emotional. I just feel so many emotions right now. Somebody help me. I can't function. I can't think. Help me. Peace and blessings. This is a side mistake coming to you with another message to help you free your heart and soul. Right now, I am talking about how to control your emotions. So, I personally have experienced crazy emotions. I'm a very emotional person, okay? My design is to be emotional. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say my design, I follow the human design philosophy. And if you've never heard of what that is, it's basically the philosophy that breaks down your body into a graph, and it shows you what centers of your body is open and closed and how they operate through different gates and things like that through your birth chart and astrology. So it's really, really cool. My personal center is my solar plexus. And in the human design chart, people with defined solar plexus energy are very, very emotional people. And there is a potential that you might be an emotional responder. So, what that means, going further into that, is in the human design, there is a philosophy that basically states that if you have certain centers defined or undefined, it makes you a certain type of person. And whatever your type is will determine how you are to generate things in this lifetime. So, as you can see, I have the app up and open. I am showing you guys my open, or not open, sorry, defined solar plexus. When it's open, it actually is clear, like the top of my head is. And when it's defined, it has those colors. So there it is. It's a defined solar plexus, which means that I am an emotional being, and I just so happen to have an emotional authority. So those are the gates and things that are showing. And now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the actual human design website. So there's one thing I want to make sure I mention as well about being someone with an emotional authority, which is basically that you are supposed to never make impulsive decisions, because your decisions are based on your emotions. And when you're emotional and you make decisions, you can make the wrong decision very quickly. So it's always good to wait, sleep on it, and come back to the decision that you are making once you have clarity on what it is that you are looking to decide on. A good tactic to do when you have an emotional authority, or you are very emotional in general, is to wait on the decision and then let the decision come back to you. How, like, for example, if someone asks you if you're interested in something, don't respond immediately. Just let them know that you'll get back to them, and just wait. And if that person reaches out to you before you reach back out to them, that means that it is most likely something that you should probably take interest in doing and taking action on. So if you want to know more about that, or just look more into it on your own, I am going to put the link down below so you can check out your specific design and how you are supposed to respond in life, and what your type is, and what centers are open, what centers are defined, and whatnot. this is like your fuel for every day. And some days you might get up and feel like and some days you might get up and you might feel like yay. When we're emotional, it causes us to just make decisions based on whatever mood we're in. And that is where the benefits of being emotional kind of is like, where are the benefits? Because we'll make decisions in our emotions, and then, you know, a couple of minutes later, you're like, that wasn't even that important. As for emotional people, I mean, there's nothing that you can do about being emotional. That's just who you are. You're an emotional being. It's time for you to master your emotions and not let your emotions master you. One thing that used to really irk me when people would talk to me about emotions has a lot to do with what I just mentioned before, is how emotions, they get a bad rap. Emotions have a bad rap in Western culture, basically making us feel like if we are emotional in any kind of way, that we're somehow delusional and crazy. And yes, we can come off that way, definitely, if we are letting our emotions control us versus us controlling our emotions. And that's what makes being emotional get a bad rap. But really, when you have an awareness of your emotions, when you have the capacity to allow your emotions to flow instead of resisting whatever it is that you feel, then you're able to kind of take a step back and perceive the message that is coming with the emotion. So emotions really are here to bring us clarity. Emotions bring us a depth and a clarity that we could not really get if we weren't emotional people. You guys know those people who are like so void of emotion. They're a little bit scary. They're a little bit kind of creepy, at least to me anyway. You know, something that you should probably feel something towards, you just don't feel anything. Yeah, that can disturb somebody who is emotional, because not because they're so super sensitive and weak, but because they have gained a depth and an insight from the various emotions they felt throughout their entire life, that has given them such a soulful understanding of what it really means when things happen and, you know, people feel certain ways. So that's the power in being emotional. That's the power of having emotions and allowing those emotions to flow, is that you are now seeing and getting an insight into something that you would have never gotten otherwise. I'll give you an example. People who don't understand this, they will judge the emotional person and make the emotional person feel like they're crazy, make the emotional person feel like they're tripping or they're just being this way. Like, say you're an emotional person and you just pick up on things from your emotions. And so maybe you're about to ask someone a question, but you're getting this feeling like, I'm not gonna ask because, you know, I'm feeling like there's more that might happen if they respond, or I'm feeling like, or I don't want to hang out with these people because, you know, I don't know what it is, but they just act weird. You know, they just act weird when I'm around. You're picking up on messages. Your emotions are telling you something that you couldn't otherwise collect from a survey or an observation. This is something that you can only feel. And this why it's so important to understand and start valuing your emotions before you even start trying to control them, is because if you don't value them or you don't give them any hierarchy in your life as an emotional being, things will happen that will make you, it will make you feel bad. It will make you feel like you should have listened to your emotions in the first place. It can even make you feel like you're crazy, right? You start attracting people who don't value your emotions. You keep attracting people who don't value your emotions or value the soul of who you are, because being emotional is so much, there's so much soul that goes into having a feeling. And so you got to start valuing your emotions first and foremost, and recognizing them as messages in your life that can help you to see and have a depth of perception into what it really is that's going on. I had someone message me to my Instagram asking me about being an empath and how when you are empathic, you can just get overwhelmed, and from the overwhelming emotions, you could avoid so much just by valuing your emotions. You could avoid a situation, you could avoid dangerous people, you could avoid malicious people, you can avoid a lot of things. And by you avoiding things through valuing your emotions, you are then attracting the people, you are attracting the things, you're attracting the places that resonate with what your emotions are telling you. So I actually had a question come into my Instagram, and by the way, if you are not following me on Instagram, make sure you go follow me at Asaya Mystic. You end up feeling confused and lost and not really knowing what to do with yourself because it's just so much emotion. Whenever you start to feel overwhelmed with emotion, the best thing to do is to let go. Just let go of whatever it is that you think that you're supposed to be feeling. Let go of whatever it is that your mind is telling you that you're supposed to be doing or what you're supposed to be like. Just let go. When you're overwhelmed with emotion, let go and just allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you're feeling in those moments. And when you do feel what you're feeling in those moments, find an outlet. Find an outlet. Connect yourself, sink yourself into the spiritual world where you can release these emotions and allow spirit to alleviate you from this overwhelming need to figure out what's happening in your life. Because it's not about figuring it out. It's about gaining clarity once you've allowed yourself to feel what it is that you're feeling. Sometimes we want to rush through the emotions. Sometimes we want to rush through the experience. And you can't really rush through what it is that you are being made to learn through or understand or have gained that depth of perception in when you do have so many emotions. Another thing that will definitely help you, actually, like, this is probably the top thing other than what I've already mentioned. There's been times when people will say, you know, you choose how you feel. You get to choose and decide what you feel every day. And I would just be like, what? Like, I don't choose how I feel. That's crazy. Like, I just don't. When something happens, like if I was to sit on a sidewalk and see like a little kid get hit by a bus, I dare somebody tell me you get to choose to feel happy when you see something like that. You get to choose, like, it's like, yeah, I could choose to be happy and like right after seeing something like that, but why would I do that? Like, why in the would I do that? Somebody please tell me why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. No, you do not choose how you feel. When you are a soulful person, you do not choose how you feel. You are how you feel. When you see something or you experience something, the way you feel in those experiences has to do with who you are soulfully, has to do with what you resonate with soulfully. Because if you didn't resonate with certain things in those ways, then you wouldn't feel in the ways that you are feeling. For example, if I didn't have no heart, no soul, and I saw a little kid get hit by a bus, and then I start laughing, you could say I chose to start laughing, but I guarantee you that's more so of something that came from your heart more than it did your mind. And that's the thing with feelings. You don't involve your mind. You don't, it's not involved. You don't have a choice. That's not really something you have a choice with. So when people talk about you choose to feel how you want to, you pick it, well, I think that's something that people who are just not emotional by default and not very soulful by default tend to do. No, you do not choose how you feel, okay? You just don't. You don't choose how you feel. What you do choose, how you are going to respond to what you feel. You choose what you're going to do with those feelings that you have. This is how you tell the heart of a person, okay? Like just my example that I gave you earlier. If somebody was to see a kid get hit by a bus and they felt happy afterwards, then I'm pretty sure the way they will respond to their happiness is to, I'm not even going to speak on that because that's just not in my biochemistry to do something like that. Your average and normal person what would they do after they saw something like that? They would feel like a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of anger, a little bit of, there's a lot going on in that moment. So immediately you would respond to that emotion that you feel and you would go into action. You will go into doing something to alleviate your emotion or to fuel your emotion so that you feel more of it or that you transmute it into something that you actually want to feel. So this is the part where we talk about how to control your emotions. When it comes to being the master of your emotions, there are plenty ways for you to go about it. When it comes to the word control, I don't really resonate with it too much because when you say that you control something, it's almost like I'm going to control this. And the point really is not to control, but it's to master. You want to master your emotions. You want to be the master of your emotions and not the other way around. Your emotions are going to be what it's going to be. But when you master your emotions, they are not taking precedence in your life. And so when you respond to your emotions, you can respond in ways that empower you. When you've let your emotions take precedence in your life and kind of rule your reactions and push you to react versus respond in a healthy way, then, you know, you definitely need to take these baby steps. One of the baby steps is affirmations, of course, but going deeper into the affirmations is the thing that triggers the emotions in the first place, which is your thoughts. So this is what people really are talking about when they say you decide how you feel. What they really mean to say is you decide how you think, because the way we think is the freest part of us. Our mind is the freest part of us. Our mind can literally think anything that we choose for it to think. So you can choose the thoughts that you think. You can choose how you perceive a situation, and that in turn will dictate the emotions that you feel about the situation. There are plenty of opportunities in just an average day that I could get angry, I could get frustrated, I could get sad, whatever. But I don't, because my mind will automatically tell my soul, it will automatically say to myself things that are going to make me happy, things that are going to make me feel at peace, things that are going to bring the fears that I start to feel that will cause the tumultuous emotions. They will keep those at bay, because what we want to feel is we want to feel the good emotions. We want to feel the peaceful emotions. We want to feel the relaxed emotions versus the anxious, the angry, the depressed, the sad. And so those are solely and extremely influenced by the thoughts that we think on a day-to-day basis. And those thoughts that we think on a day-to-day basis has a lot to do with our belief systems. So our belief systems is like the thing that's going to cause us to feel a certain way about situations, about things that go on in our life. If I have a limited belief system about my life, or my health, my money, my love life, if I have a limited belief system about that, no matter my reality, because reality is important, and we definitely should act on the realistic things that are presented to us. However, don't let that take precedence over the belief systems you have about your life and the way of life. Your reality should actually be the stimuli to you shifting your belief systems, because what's manifested in your physical reality is a product of the belief systems that you already have. So if you don't like something in your physical reality that's stimulating you in a certain way emotionally, then it's time for you to change your belief systems that you have about who you are in this life. And from those belief systems, you will then begin to change your actions. You will then begin to form a new grand perspectives of who you are, what life is all about, how you're living, what's coming to you, what's coming away from you. Your belief systems, that's what's going to do it. That's what's going to shift your entire emotional spectrum once you move into shifting your belief systems. And of course, from your belief systems, you also have a certain identity and sense of self that has created those belief systems. So yeah, we're going like real deep here, okay? Your thoughts is the thing that creates your emotional state. After your thoughts or before your thoughts, I'll just like find a way to draw a little graph, but before your thoughts is your belief systems. Your belief systems create your thoughts stimulate your emotions. Your belief systems stem from your sense of identity in this life, and you are to allow your reality to let you know whether or not your belief systems are in line with your identity based off the emotions that you are feeling on a day-to-day basis, how you are, taking these emotions. Do they feel good? Do they feel bad? Etc., etc. I'm going to make a graph. The graph is there. This is the basis of how to effectively understand your emotions and how to master them in your life. Overstand this graph of existence and emoting, and that will get you to being much more adept at understanding what it is that you feel, how you feel, and accepting how you feel as more so of a different aspect of a fact other than being an enemy to a fact. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, click the notification bell so you can get notified every time I post a video. This was a Side Mystic, and I will catch you in the next one.